Hello and welcome to the Full Octane Garage. Today we're going to look at something a little different for us, a little more mainstream for most. I had to put the GMC Denali in the shop for a day, and so they gave me a loaner. And that loaner is 2019 Buick Encore. This is the preferred edition, and to be honest with you, when I started out, I wasn't going to do a review of it, but after driving a little bit, it's really kind of grown on me. So let's check it out. Welcome to the Full Octane Garage. This 2019 Encore Preferred Edition has been out in its current rendition since 2017 with just a few smaller minor upgrades. As you can see, just with a quick walk around, it's actually a pretty good looking vehicle. I say vehicle, I think the politically correct term for these now is CUV, for compact utility vehicle. Smaller than SUV, larger than a normal size sedan. It's got 6 inches of ground clearance, which is really kind of handy. It's 100 inches wheelbase and about 5.5 feet tall. So it serves all the purposes of a regular daily commuter car, but it's taller and it does have a little more cargo in it so that you can handle some of the utility type things that you might need to do on a everyday basis. All right, this preferred model does come equipped with keyless entry and keyless start, or remote start, which is a favorite feature of mine. Lock the button. There you go. Be all warmed up by the time we get in there, right? Let's check it out. Of course, you have to unlock it. Okay, so the engine's running, but the screen and everything else is still locked out. So you put your foot on the brake, push the engine start button. The center screen comes up and the center console information screen. The center screen is an 8-inch screen, entertainment center plus GPS, apps, things of that nature. It does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which we're not going to do right now since I'm using the phone to record. It does have OnStar and navigation. You can see your OnStar button up here on top, and access to various apps and things of that nature that you can add on there, various forms. This vehicle comes equipped with 2 USB chargers, an aux, and a 12-volt charger in the center console. Also has a charger in the back for your passengers. On your steering wheel, you have your cruise control settings on the left. On the right is your volume settings and your connection for your phone. The left-hand stalk, of course, it has your brights on it, but it also controls your center main screen. There's a menu button here you can push, and you can scroll up and scroll down. My feelings on it, I don't know, it's probably easier if it were on the steering wheel than on the stock if you're trying to use it while you're driving. But it's still pretty handy. The center screen is mostly the entertainment functions, and then of course your right stalk controls your windshield wipers, front and rear. It does have intermittent wipers also. The Encore is equipped with automatic headlights, which a lot of vehicles have now, but it's still pretty handy to have. Of course, power windows, power locks. The seat adjustments, it has a forward and back and a lumbar control on it. Okay, and I don't know how much the GoPro is catching, and maybe I can get it on the cell phone here too, but check out this center armrest. It has a center armrest, this narrow armrest, that is for the driver only. It does not have an armrest for the passenger, which is a little weird. So when they climb into the vehicle, there's really nothing for them to kind of put their left arm on to settle themselves in. The height of the center armrest. When you put your arm on there, you can see my shoulders kind of raised. And so when you're driving down the road, it's a little weird because the door armrest is lower. And so you're just kind of, it's hard to get yourself centered and kind of seat yourself in place. There's not really big bolsters in the car. And so if you're trying to rest your left or right arm, I don't know, it's just the seating arrangement. It's just a little weird. Another comment that I have about the seating arrangement is the pedals, the accelerator and the brake pedals seem a little far forward. So, of course, you can adjust your seat position back so that the pedals feel right. And the wheel does telescope in and out, which is really nice. But what happens is when you get to a comfortable seating position for a normal driver, I'm 5'10", it puts the controls actually out of arm's reach. You actually have to lean forward in order to reach the center display screen. So it's just a small ergonomic item that I thought was a little unusual. There are 4 different levels of this vehicle and 3 additional versions of it. You have the basic, the preferred, and then a sport model. This is the preferred, like the middle level. So it's got the same engine and all in the preferred, but it has a few other additional knickknacks. When I originally drove this vehicle a couple months ago, when I got it for a loaner for another time that I had dropped my truck off to service, I wasn't entirely thrilled with it, to be honest with you, and wasn't really planning on doing a video on it. But I've gotten into this one, been in it a couple more times, and to be honest with you, this Encore really grows on you. My initial impression was blah, but now that I've driven a little bit, I'm actually kind of happy with it and maybe it has to do with the purpose of these vehicles. This is called a CUV, which is a compact utility vehicle. It's not an SUV with a 6-cylinder, and it's not a sporty sedan. It kind of hits the middle road for all those. Its competitors on the lower side might be Kia Sportage or a Mazda 3, MX-3, and on the high side maybe a BMW X1. And Buick has that image that they're the mature brand, right? If you close your eyes right now and you think of a Buick, it's going to take you back to somewhere in the mid-'80s, and it's going to be a big car. But this is actually a really attractive vehicle from the outside. It's got a little bit of chrome, but not too much. And it's nicer than some of the lower-end options that are out there. Again, it's a 1.4 liter, and it has quite a bit of pep. It's not a fast car by any means, but it does get you around in traffic. And getting back to the purpose of this vehicle, this is a daily commuter that would be good to go to the grocery store, or maybe a small run to Home Depot or something of that nature. Transport 4 or 5 people, which it can do comparatively comfortably, and get them back. It's not something I think I would want to do for a terribly long trip, and it's probably not something you'll go pick your Tinder date up in. But it's nice. It's actually a really nice place to be now that I look at it. It's got some interior panels in here that are painted the exterior color of the car, which with this color that the car is right now, this dark granite or charcoal gray, really meshes with the black interior of the rest of the vehicle. Handling. Well, let me talk about ride first. The car rides very nicely. It's got a smooth ride. It can be a little bumpy over uneven surfaces, but on a normal interstate or highway type ride, it's comparatively quiet inside, and it rides pretty smoothly, probably because of the size of the tires. It's got 18-inch wheels on it, but the tires are pretty thick. They're not low profile by any means. The other side of that is if you're coming through a tight curve or something of that nature at a little bit of speed, it does tend to roll on you. So if I'm going through a tight right-hand corner, that left front definitely looks like it's got some weight. It'll want to heel to the left, and it feels a little tall. So if you do a little bit of moving like this, it kind of wallows around a little bit. The vehicle does have 6 inches of ground clearance, so that's pretty handy, but the other side of it is it does create a little bit of a top-heavy type dynamic when you're driving. The brakes feel really good. This vehicle weighs 3,200 pounds and some change, and they seem very adequate to bring it to a stop in a acceptable manner. Let's talk about gas mileage, because this is an economy vehicle. That's what we're going to call it, or at least in my opinion. Especially if you're getting the basic or preferred line, you're concerned about your dollars that you're spending on the vehicle, and you're concerned about the maintenance and repairs and operating cost. Well, the rated mileage on this vehicle combined is between 27 and 30, depending on the model that you get. My experience driving it in this morning on the interstate, I averaged 43 to 44 miles a gallon, and that was in somewhat rush hour traffic, driving into downtown Nashville. And combined, I'm seeing 33 to 34 miles per gallon, including like little city and stop and go type traffic. So well better than what's expected. I was driving it at the speed limit just to be fair about the whole situation. And I can be known to have kind of a lead foot, and I imagine that the gas mileage would be impacted a little more on a regular basis for me. But generally, yes. Can you get over 40 miles a gallon on this? I think you can. Here comes one of those curves I was talking about. I don't know. It seems it's front wheel drive, and you can feel it pulling from the front, and it pulls you through the curves. So no, it's not that bad. All-wheel drive is an option on some models, and I don't think it's a particularly expensive option. I believe they said $900 or so. So I would probably swing for the all-wheel drive version, and I would probably go for the sport version at least, which is the third level up, because the difference between the base version of $23,000 and some change and the sport version, which is $27,000 or $28,000, you sure get a whole lot of stuff. It does not come standard with heated seats, but you'll get those heated seats, you'll get dual climate control, you'll get a lot of those safety functions, blind spot monitoring, and all those other type of items come with the higher versions of this car and come as options with this car. And because of the low entry cost of this car, really don't see a reason why, if you're going to do it, to go ahead and put those in there and get you something that you will enjoy for the next 4 to 5 years that you have it. All right, at the end of the day, what do we think about the Buick Encore? I think it's a great daily driver. It's purpose-built for daily commuting, running to the grocery store, taking the kids to soccer practice. Economy-wise, it's very inexpensive to maintain. And it's actually a good-looking car. The more I drive it, the better I feel in it. So how would I handle it? I'd probably go for the sport version or the premium version. The dollar amount between the entry-level Encore and the well-equipped one is just a few $1,000s, and then add in the safety package and the all-wheel drive and the upgraded engine. I think you can still do that on the sports side for less than $30,000, and it should give you something that you can stay with for a while. So let us know what you think down below in the comments. How do you think it compares to the other competitors out there? Maybe the Mazda on the low end, or the Audi Q3, or the BMW X1 on the high end. What would you do? What would you pick? Thanks for joining us at the Full Octane Garage. If you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. And leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Thanks for joining us at the Full Octane Garage. We'll see you soon.
Darn, he missed the squirrel.
We had to reshoot that.
That was close.
I worked it.
And we have fun.
Not bad, huh?